So right now, I think the biggest problem between India and Pakistan, where we talk, is that first, Ambassa, we used to say that let's talk about Kashmir, and they used to say let's talk about trade. And then now we are saying let's talk about trade or other things, and they are saying let's talk about terrorism. So they have, they have reached to this point that wherever they go globally, they raise this issue. So how do you see that we need to get out of this discussion? For example, Ambassador Shahid Malik Saab was mentioning that we should go to our global partners, our friends, but unfortunately, our global partners and friends, they don't have that leverage. For example, the Americans, the British, the European Union, they don't have leverage over the Indians to motivate them or ask them to come on table with Pakistan. So how to move on out of this equation, because they don't get satisfied on anything. So I'm just trying to raise these questions for bringing different perspectives in the conversation.
Yeah, I can address this briefly, but I would actually want to go to Dr. Mujib Afzal on the internal dynamics also. But let me first address the point you raised. We must keep in mind the global picture, the global dynamics, the global geopolitics. That has given a special place and privilege to India, and therefore even India's excesses are being ignored and they look the other way, to the extent that even if India is targeting people in North America, still they would like to contain this because they want India to serve their larger objective of, of being a counterweight to China. So that, I think, global picture has given India the kind of weight that it can continue to ignore Pakistan and raise allegations against Pakistan of cross-border terrorism. But I tell you, no country in the world has repeated what Dr. Jaishankar has been speaking ad nauseum. No country has repeated those allegations because the world now knows that there is no cross-border terrorism from Pakistani side. If there is any cross-border terrorism, it is from the other side to Pakistan. There are fingerprints, Indian fingerprints on terrorism inside Pakistan and elsewhere, as I indicated in Canada and US. So I don't think India is using that argument essentially to to advance its present strategy of no contact warfare. That no contact with Pakistan is also another instrument of war that India has waged against Pakistan. But I want to go to Dr. Mujib Afzal because we need to benefit from his rich knowledge on this subject and ask him. And this is something that I have been, saying that my own sense, and I don't have any proof or evidence. Of course, it is something in the future that when you discriminate against large minorities within a country, and these minorities, Indian Muslims, for example, would be 200 million. How do you make sure that your country is stable? So it's a zero sum. Hindutva and this objective of creating Hindu state is a zero sum for India because by definition you will be discriminated against minorities, and that means you are sowing the seeds of perpetual instability in your country, and there could be a commotion. Is my you know hunch or my thesis all right? Is it tenable, Doctor?
Uh, I think there are two sides to it. We also used religion to create unity within our country. And interestingly, it was beneficial to us because we were able to suppress the regional voices in Balochistan, in Sindh, even in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The use of religion helped us to suppress the regional voices. But then within religion, we started to create sectarian issues, and that became even more powerful destabilizing factor. So it's all confused processes of selecting, emphasizing, and sometime even rejecting different issues for nation building project. We are still in a process of building our nations, and in which we are having a competing point of views. In case of India, exactly, I would say that you are quite right, that ignoring Muslims and discriminating Muslims against the majority will definitely have consequences over a longer period of time. But if you look in the shorter period of time, Hindutva or Hinduism is providing them a kind of a unity across different region, where India at some time was seen as a soft state, is now can project itself as a strong masculine way, and that's the way Modi Saab is acting at a level of foreign policy. So that is very much there, and it is also the demand of emerging new capitalist class and also their middle class as well, that they want to have a strong India as a powerful nation state inside unified, suppressing minorities like the blacks in America. But if you take in a longer perspective, I think it will create problems for India as well. But I would say it will not. This is not the only issue that is India facing. The biggest debate it is facing, and hopefully it will be there in the election as well, the so-called India coalition and the BJP-led coalition about the nature of economy. Uh, BJP has been very successful in initiating small projects like giving loan for cycle, giving loan for electricity, building of a small house, small business. But essentially, it is pro big business and the so-called shining India. In case of others, Congress and others, they are emphasizing on the so-called left politics, left economy. So that debate in the middle of this tenure of Modi Saab did came up. Uh, Both identified themselves with these point of views. Rahul identified himself with the leftist economic agenda, and Modi Saab also identified with the capitalist pro-West agenda. But then somewhere that debate was lost, and again on sectarian issue and secularism versus Hindu ethos, it was lost. But it will come back. India itself within will face continuously this challenge. It is fine. India is now $3.4 trillion economy, but compare with any other state, let's say even Italy. Italy also have $3.1 trillion economy, but its population is 55 million. In case of India, it's a 1.5 billion. So if you would divide, this is meaningless achievement that India have compared to the industrialized other countries. And also the other countries also view India simply in terms of market, nothing more than that. So India has to go through this debate of big business and supporting the so-called economic debate. So I think it will be a combination of sectarianism or the communalism in with reference to India and the economic debate that will define the future of India. And India is continuously, for a longer period of time, has to face this debate. And whenever it will be there, I think minorities will be there. Minorities will be siding with the left politics. Shaheen Bagh was the best example. In 92 cities, there were sittings, and they were supported by the people of young people coming from the left. So this is a kind of a new center that is emerging in opposition to Bharatiya Janata Party or the Hindu nationalist as a whole. So I think in a longer period of time, it will be a combination of communal and economic reality that will define the domestic agenda of India. And always Hindu nationalists will emphasize the nationalist agenda, because in last election, thanks to Balakot, BJP was able to get the rural votes of UP. Almost their increase was 40%. 40% popularity increase after this so-called strategic strike against Pakistan. So BJP emphasize communal themes and will continue to do that. But beneath that communal uh, uh, rhetoric, there will be big business. And in case of Congress and others, they will emphasize the economic themes, and beneath, definitely, minorityism will be there.